What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. Reggie Steele's in the house, and this is
Spitballing. Let's get it popping. Let's go. I'm
Poppin',
ready, brother.
baby.
It's good to see you, man. And all our
Yeah, how's it
podcast
going?
listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. We're happy when we get our likes and our shares and our subscriptions. So thank you for hanging out with us. This is actually number 20 for us, the big
That's it,
2-0.
the big 2-0, man. This is it.
2-0.
Uh, yeah, man. I'm kind of tired, Reg. I didn't wake up well this morning.
Oh,
Like,
really?
if you ever get up, like you ever wake up like an hour too early,
Yeah, that
and then you just and then it
yes.
just ruins the day for me, bro.
But you got to go back to sleep, dude.
I can. I'm not on my mind. Once I'm up, I'm up. And like, but this is how I woke up. Like I was sleeping and I heard Sal, 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 Sal. I'm like, the fuck? And I wake up and it's a stupid like scooter alarm off in the distance, when they're searching for the bird or whatever. It's like, but
Searching
it
for the
did it for like
bird.
20 minutes, like
Wait,
the
wait.
bird scooter or the lime scooter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They like
Okay.
chirp when you look for them. So they was just off in the distance, far away too, but it was going doo 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 doo. And I was like, the fuck? So yeah, dude, that's how I woke up. So I've been tired ever since.
Oh man. And what time was that?
7 a.m. And usually that's fine, but I went to bed a little later because we had our show last night. It was a good
Oh, that's right.
show, packed crowd, biggest crowd yet. Chris
I,
Garcia was closing it out.
okay.
Um,
I told you, dude.
this what happened was I emailed this local website, LA place. Like, you know how they got SF Fun Cheap or whatever up there.
Yeah.
And this is called We Like LA, and they put it up on their site, so a bunch of people found out that way.
Oh,
So
awesome. Dude,
yeah,
that's
it's pretty
great.
cool.
Do you
Yeah.
collect tips at the end?
Nah, dog.
No tip bucket. Oh, dude. I
No,
mean, come on,
I
you're
mean,
giving
it
people.
was fine. People go there, they eat, they drink. It's comics get fed and drink. It's just
Yeah,
good.
but dude, they're getting a Chris Garcia, right? They've gotten a Chris
That's the
Garcia, they've
plus.
gotten a
But
Kevin
see,
Kamiya,
brah, this LA,
Shank.
man.
I
They got
know, man,
everything
but
in LA. That doesn't
I know,
matter
but
in LA.
a tip. I mean, just to pass the bucket around in appreciation, get a couple dollars, even if the
Maybe it's
comments walk
got,
out with.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't
Okay.
know,
All
Reg.
right. I mean, but I told you they would come, right? Eventually. And even if you had to put it on a site, that's great, dude. Because now they will come back. Because I'm sure it was a great show. So
Right. So yeah,
build it.
it was good, man. It was quite good. And yeah, that's it. So we got another 57 minutes to go.
Well, I woke up. I was in a good mood. I didn't have any issues this morning. I woke up fine. Although, nah, that's a little TMI. As
No,
I
dude, I
say,
like the TMI. Why were you late,
no,
Reg? What was the drama that made you go ride a bike?
no. I was talking about I had some stomach issues this morning.
Oh,
So
that's what yeah,
yeah.
what are you lactose intolerant too? What'd you
I
have?
am. Of course, I'm lactose intolerant. Dude, look at me. I'm brown.
All
Right?
with all brown folk lactose intolerant?
Hey man, all I'm saying is that the milk industry had to stop saying milk does a body good. Because 70% of the people are lactose intolerant, man.
70% of black people are lactose intolerant
I didn't say black people. I just said 70% of the people in other countries around the world. They said the majority of the people are lactose intolerant
in the world.
in the world. Let's look. You want to look it up? We can do some stats.
Yeah, let's get into it, Reg. Look
All
it
right,
up.
let's see.
I'm too
Yeah,
tired.
man. My lactose intolerance kicked in probably somewhere in the late 20s, early 30s. Prior
That
to
is
that,
late,
man,
dude. Mine started puberty.
really? Oh,
Like
dude.
once I hit 13, it went slow though. First, like 13 hit, and I was like, "Ooh, I can't have ice cream anymore." and then then milk hit, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to have to cut back on cereal." And then finally, cheese. Pizza, dude, was one of the last ones to go, and
Wow.
that was rough. And that
Wow.
was before like there was even like lactate pills yet,
Yeah,
or
damn
I
that.
wasn't that hip to them yet. And now, well, you don't take lactate pills?
Of course not. Look, man.
The hell, of course not.
Of course not. Listen, man. Your body knows what it likes and what it doesn't like, what it needs and what it doesn't need. If your body is telling you, I can't process this, then you should stop eating it. Taking a pill to enable your body to process something is unnatural. For me, I'm like, yo,
number one, it's an enzyme, not really a peel.
okay, an
And
enzyme. What to break it down? All I'm
but
saying is,
hey, but so
listen
wait,
to
you
your.
never have pizza?
I do have pizza, but for
Cheese
whatever
pizza.
reason, yeah, yeah. But for whatever
You're
reason,
not
that
real
doesn't.
lactose intolerant. Don't go
No,
judging about
no,
my
I'm telling.
lactate pills.
Listen,
You're not
listen. I'm
really lactose
no,
intolerant.
I'm telling you, dude. Listen, I'm gonna break down my lactose and I'm gonna read this
You
information
could
I
have
got.
pizza.
I can have pizza.
Get the fuck out. I haven't been able to have pizza without a lactate pill in 20 years, Reg.
Oh man, that's crazy. I'm sorry, bro.
Like now,
I
look, I rather not. Like a lot of times, I'll have sheep cheese, and I do that, and I'll have and non-dairy is still not the same, but nothing beats just a straight up pizza, even from Domino's with real cheese on it. Just try to take one or two, drop them in, and then you're good. But if I don't, I'm gonna
it's
be
all
like
bad.
you, all
It's,
messed up in the morning and late to podcast.
it's all bad, brother. I'm telling you, man. Like this is how it works for me. I can eat pizza, but I can't eat just a cheese pizza. A cheese pizza will mess me
Yeah,
up. And if it's a pizza that has like big balls of mozzarella
yeah.
or other cheeses on top, I can't do it.
Now, here's the
Um,
thing. If it was real buffalo mozzarella, what that's based off of, you would be able to because buffalo has like no lactose, the cow, the cheese from the buffalo, the water buffalo. That's what it is.
okay,
See,
okay,
it goes dairy, goes cow is the most, then goat, then
okay.
sheep, and then buffalo has like none. So I could have sheep all day,
So
manchego, feta.
buffalo, like buffalo milk,
Yeah, it's
buffalo
real, like
cheese.
real buffalo. You know, they call it buffalo mozzarella, buffalo
Never heard,
mozzarella. Yeah, it's
never heard
called
of that.
buffalo mozzarella. Anyway, it's really from in Italy, a buffalo, a water buffalo, like those
Wow.
big things you'd see in Africa, kind of shit.
People are people serious about their cheese.
Oh,
They
they
have to
milk anything,
they
Reg.
milk anything. They milk buffaloes and get some cheese, man. That's serious, man. Look, I first off, I stopped eating mac and cheese like in nursery school just because
Yeah,
I
me
ate it
too.
every day. I ate it every day, and I just one day I took a bite and was like, "Well, I won't be eating this again for the rest of my
And
life."
that young, that young.
No, but that was just the taste of
Oh,
cheese, personally for
oh,
me. Then I could drink milk. I used to drink a gallon of milk a week growing up. I would even in my adulthood, like in my early adult life, I would go out to eat and I'd order. You can ask any of my friends. Whenever we went out, I get a glass of ice, right, with nothing in it, and then I get a glass of milk, and then I
jeez.
take my milk and I pour it over my ice, ooh, with my pancakes and
Ew,
my
dude,
eggs.
ice. That's gross.
Yeah, man, I like ice cold milk. When I was growing up, my mom used to she would pour my milk into a little plastic, like these big Tupperware plastic cups that are all like, pastel colors. And
Like a
she would put it
sippy
in the,
cup.
no, it was a big cup. And she would put it in the freezer to get it super cold for me. Right. So it wasn't until my late 20s that I couldn't do late 20s, early 30s when it started to happen. And I realized that I would eat cereal. Like, you know how it is. You're young, up late, you're hungry, have a bowl of cereal.
Always.
Right. And all of a
That was my
sudden,
bedtime snack. I'd wake up in the morning on cereal and I'd close on cereal.
there you go.
I
Cereal is like the
bookend the day.
staple diet of childhood, right?
Yeah.
Dude, somewhere around my late 20s, dude, I would have a bowl of cereal and all of a sudden it would just happen. It would like it literally be like it'd be like 30 minutes first. And I'd be sitting there like just whoa,
Reg.
my bad. And then it progressively got to the point where it was like it was 30 minutes, then it was like 20 minutes, then it was 15 minutes. And then it turned into like if I took a sip of milk, I was like, my stomach would just turn into knots. I'm like, oh,
Would
like
you like
bent
have to
over.
like drink milk straight on the toilet at one point?
It's like
Like I still need my dairy.
it's a straight shot. I used to have a joke about that actually. I used to have a joke about that actually. So then I was like, it took me a moment to realize I was like, yo, I, I can't drink milk, right? I already didn't like cheese because of the way it tasted. So cheese had been out of the picture for a long time, as far as like eating slices of cheese that little kids would eat, or like little string cheese, whatever, right?
Yeah, I
So I
love
couldn't
that
do
as a
milk,
kid.
and then I realized I had the same reaction whenever I ate ice cream. But the funny thing about the ice cream is that if I eat, it's gonna sound crazy, but if I eat a high quality ice cream, like if I eat Haagen-Dazs, I'm actually, I'll be okay if I don't overdo it. But if I eat some of that cheap shit, like that Briars and Dryers, the stuff that's like super creamy, yo, that joint, it's bad for everybody. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. So pizza I can do as long as I can't do a cheese pizza and it doesn't have big chunks. And there's sometimes where people go crazy and put a bunch of cheese on. I have to take it off. Like I'll take it off and
Yeah, I've done that. I've done it. Like I've been on like gigs or something, and then they bring pizza, and everyone's like, "Yay, pizza!" And I'm like, "Fucking great!" And then I just got to pick around all the pepperonis
exactly.
and big glob of cheese on my plate. Like,
Yeah.
what is that, dude?
Oh, dude,
It's disappointment.
It's disappointment, man. It's disappointment. I give it away, dude. I scrape it off. I give it away.
Who the fuck's gonna eat that, dude? After you touch your fingers, you just handed it to someone, a wad of cheese.
You ain't been around hungry people, apparently. I know a dude right now. I could take a bite out of something. Like, I don't want this. He'd be like, I'll take it and just we'll start where I left off. I'm like,
that shit's foul, dude.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. So here we go. Here's the information.
Oh,
so
right.
I said that because it was documented that the milk industry had to stop saying milk does a body good because majority of the people can't process milk. And so I said 70%. So what I just looked up
is the worldwide, give me the numbers.
Worldwide. Yeah, I said 70% of the world can't do milk. So what I looked up is I Googled it and I found experts estimate that about 68% of the world's population has lactose malabsorption. Lactose malabsorption is more common in some parts of the world than in others. In Africa and Asia, most people have lactose malabsorption. So there you go. So 68% of the people.
You ain't really lactose that much, buddy. You're just a little.
Man.
I'm real deal. Like I'm real deal, bro. Like first off, I ain't all no, dude. My stomach feels like knives in my stomach going, like just stabbing me away, dude, like Caesar. Ooh. And then I can't even like, dude, no, I can't even touch real ice cream. Like I haven't touched it a year. Like if someone's like try, I'll go, that's it, dude. Don't ever. And so like I have to have almond milk ice cream, the non-dairy ice cream, which is amazing. That's a game changer, dude. That like like a kid in Christmas when I see that.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Ben and Jerry's non-dairy PB and something
cookies,
a PB and cookies.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right, dude. During the pandemic, I discovered that I put on at least 20, 30 pounds. I was up to 270 eating a pint of that shit a night, bro. Just like, because it tastes so much like ice cream, right? Like
it's all those chunks are amazing.
Oh, and the chunks. I love ice cream with stuff in it.
Yes.
Dude, when I was a kid, I swear to you, I would get vanilla ice cream, or I would get like cookies and cream, and then I would buy Oreos, and I would break the Oreos up, and then I put them in the ice cream, and I mix it up, and it was like every bite was a nice, cool crunch of ice cream and cookie. Woo! And then with this PB and cookie, with the slabs of peanut butter inside that's all frozen, you can dig out and dig underneath and get the cookie. Oh, dude, it's so indulgent. I swear to God, I was getting big as hell. I ain't gonna say it, but I was getting big as hell. 270.
I remember
let's take a moment, man. 270 pounds, man.
How'd you get rid of it?
I stopped eating that damn ice cream. I swear to you, I stopped eating the ice cream, stopped eating late night. Like I literally was, I stopped eating after 8 p.m. I do like an intermittent fasting, and just drink tons of water and cut out all the snacks. And boom, I dropped 20 pounds like that.
Do you know? So the rumor was that the guy, one of the guys who, one of them, Ben or Jerry, he didn't really have. I want to say he didn't have like smell senses or something. And
okay,
so he needed. Yeah, I forget what it was. Maybe some kind of taste. But anyway, he needed giant chunks to taste it. That's why there's giant chunks in the Ben and Jerry's.
See. Even something that doesn't necessarily, even something that's not necessarily good can have a positive effect. The dude can't smell or taste or whatever. So he's like, yo, I just got to put chunks of everything in it so I can taste it. And here we are like, yeah.
I had this, like, so an interesting story is I looked up cookie dough ice cream because like cookie dough ice cream, the way the flavor came about, it's fascinating. So I looked it up and it was this guy in Vermont. Well, I say a guy because I say only a guy would be this gross, but I just imagine him sitting there in his underwear, like with his
Sloppy.
big tube of cookie dough, and where it says "Do not consume raw cookie dough," and he's just eating it, and he's like, "This be good chunk in ice cream." So, so he leaves his shack in the woods, and this is where it's true though. He or she heads to the local Ben and Jerry's shop in Vermont, and they had an anonymous what do you put, like a suggestion box. And he suggested cookie dough ice cream, and then they got it, and then you have to do something to it where like you have to reheat it or something so it's not
you can't eat it raw, because it will give
right, you can't really eat it raw. So
yeah,
so they had to do that and figured that out. But then once they did, that was a flavor. But to this day, nobody knows the anonymous person who came up with the cookie dough ice cream flavor.
For real.
Yeah.
Wow. I love the fact that you made him a caveman in a shed in the woods.
Yeah, dude. That's all I can make. Like, how
you
do you come up
like,
with that?
I know, but you make him sound like he's living completely off the grid.
Oh yeah, right? Dude, in a shack in the woods.
In a shack in the woods, but somehow this dude has a tube of cookie dough, right? And he's going, you straight up caveman. Cookie dough, good, and ice cream.
Well, you got to be that kind of mentality if you're eating something that right on the label, any cookie dough thing you grab says "Do not consume raw cookie dough" in bold letters.
But Sal, you have to remember, in this scenario, the person that you've created, he probably can't read.
Right? No, he's done. He knows what he likes.
Yeah, but
so if he can't read, then my impression of him was quite accurate.
Exactly, but he didn't read the part that said, "Do not consume cookie dough."
Consume got him stuck.
Consuming got him stuck. Do not con.
Do not con you me.
Cookie dough and ice cream good.
There it is.
Just eats it up.
We should do a video of how it came about, and you could be you have it down. You could play the guy.
I could be sitting there and just breaking the tube, but it's got the little metal thing in the top, so I got to take my knife, cut it across, and then rip it down like a banana. Just
this go good in ice cream.
But hold up though, no, I got to be eating the ice cream separate.
That's how you discover it. And then you're like, whoa.
And then I take both of them and I go, and I just shove them together.
There you go. Then you start eating it, dude.
Cookie dough,
and then
ice cream.
You're so excited by your discovery, you run out the door. You're still probably pantsless or something.
Yeah.
And head right off to the Ben and Jerry's in Vermont.
But I don't know that
your suggestion.
No, but I don't even know that it's Ben and Jerry's. I'm literally just walking around. Ice cream, cookie dough.
Right. That's true.
And people are like, get out of here. Go down to Ben and Jerry's. Who Ben? Who Jerry? Who these people? Where do I find them? And then I go and I go, Ben, Jerry, ice cream, cookie dough, good, put together now. And then
they can't see you because it's anonymous, so they have no idea it's you. So you just so somehow you learned how to write, so you can write it in the suggestion box.
I think somebody else wrote it for me. I say,
oh, there you go. You need help.
Someone wrote it for me. I recruit somebody to write it for me, and then I just
write letter.
And because I'm probably like big strong, and I grab little man. I call him puny, like Hulk, and I go, "You puny man, you write letter to tell what this is." And then I leave the cookie dough in the ice cream in front of the Ben and Jerry's, and they show up in the morning. They go, "What's that shit?"
You can't be big and strong, bro. You have to be big and overweight because of the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. So you're gonna have to put back that 270, dude. You gotta hit that, and we'll film this. 270 and wearing Daisy Dukes. Running out of the house.
With one ball hanging out, just one of the Daisy Dukes with just one ball hanging out the bottom.
You like chunks in ice cream? I got chunks in my pants.
And I'm sure at that size, I'm not running anywhere, right? I'm waddling. Ooh.
Yeah. Like the penguin, Danny DeVito's penguin.
Side to side, just cookie. Telling anybody who listens, cookie dough, ice cream, good.
And then people could try it and they'll be dying behind you because they don't know about the dead people behind you. Until you get to Ben and Jerry and they're like, oh.
I love how you turn it into like a murder mystery now.
No, we're a lot of action.
A lot of action. The history and the story of Ben and Jerry's cookies and cream ice cream. No, cookie dough ice cream.
Cookie dough ice cream.
How it all started in Vermont that left 37 people dead, but with smiles on their faces. All right.
There it is. Yeah,
man.
I'm curious of how came about.
You know what I got to give you credit for, and I love this, is that I really appreciate and admire your curiosity.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
Like
dude, I'll look stuff up all the time.
yeah, man. I was talking to somebody about this recently, about how important that is, right? Like the importance of being curious. Like I feel like it's lost in today's generation. I mean, everything is, everything's at your fingertips if you got a phone. If you got a device,
Yeah,
then
it's so easy now.
it's so easy. But
Anything you
people,
want to know in the world is in your pocket.
right there. But people, I feel like young people just don't ever look. Like, not even young people, I'll say adults. I know, you know how many people have called me, like legitimately have called me and asked me, hey, what's the thing about the thing? And I go, hey man, just Google it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Still, yeah, that's kind of
still,
crazy.
dude, I'm with you. I look up any and every, if I have a question, if there's a thought that crosses my mind, I'll go, where'd that come from? Right? And I just kind of Google it and figure it out. So,
And now
so
with
I
like
appreciate that.
YouTube, you could watch the videos.
Yeah.
Like that's how
yeah.
I know how to do a bow tie, is because, and I still have to play it every time I see it to know how to do like a real bow tie. It's hard as hell, man.
It's hard as hell. I've tried to do a bow tie. Okay, so check this out. I actually taught myself how to tie a tie. Right? Like as a
Okay.
kid, I was sitting there and I kept messing with it. I was like, okay, over, around. And I was like, nah. And I just fiddled with it until I finally figured it out. And then
Man, you must have had nothing to do as a kid. That's what you do.
Well, when you got to go to church every Sunday.
All right.
Right?
So you had to wear a suit when you went to church, or at least
Oh
a shirt and
man,
tie?
dude, I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama in the 80s, right? In the 80s and the 90s, bro. I had to wear a suit. I mean, even, and in the 70s, right? As a little kid at 6, that was easy. That's just a clip-on joint. Bam. Right?
Yeah.
Full suit. But when you hit the 80s, bro, when I hit that fifth grade, fifth grade, it wasn't no more clip-ons, bro. Like 5th grade, I'd probably say 5th grade. 5th and 6th grade, it was no more clicks. It was
How
like,
come?
I just think it became time. And maybe it might have been 7th grade. I would say maybe 7th instead of 5th and 6th.
But that was
so
like
7th
known
grade.
for kids, huh?
Yeah, it was like, because then those the clip-ons they became too short.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like,
You know what's
you know what I
funny?
mean?
When I went to Catholic school and we had to wear uniforms, and the first few years that I was there, it was ties, and I had a clip-on tie that I'd
Okay.
always wear to fucking school every day, 5
Yep.
days a week.
Dude, that's funny,
Stupid.
man. I went to Catholic middle school too. I didn't go to Catholic elementary school, but Catholic middle school.
Did you have uniforms?
Yes, sir. White
What
shirts.
would you have?
We had white polo shirts, and then navy blue pants with a blue belt.
We eventually went to polo shirts as well, but you were not allowed to have your hair longer than the collar.
Oh, what? See, that was an issue. I had an afro. I got pictures.
You had a big old fro?
I had a fro, dude. I found some when I went to Birmingham recently. When I went back for Byron's funeral, I found a photo album that my mom kept of all these pictures of me, and I took pictures. It's funny. I got them right here. I'll show you. Here's one right here of me with my fro, dude. This is 3rd and 4th grade. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? You ain't ready.
Oh, I think I remember seeing the one on the left. That's kind of a fro. It's a little small, Reg.
Well, yeah, but the one in the white shirt, that's a fro, dude.
It's just a mini fro.
This is not a fro. What do you want it to be?
I wanted like woo, Angela Davis, man.
Oh man, no, I wasn't on an Angela Davis kick. So here's 1st and 2nd.
Which one was older, the young one, or the other one?
Which one was older?
Yeah, the short hair or the fro?
The short hair. That was 4th grade. The short hair. The red is 4th grade.
And the other one's 5th grade?
No, this is 4th grade and this is 3rd grade.
It's funny. You look older in the younger one.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, you just, maybe it's the fro, but you look like you just put in a hard day's work.
Well, actually, when you look at them, you can see the difference because my face has a little bit more expression. You don't even want to see those. I'm gonna show you my 8th grade picture. Here is 7th grade. Boy, there's a story behind this too. That's
oh
7th
my
grade.
goodness, look at this guy.
That's 7th grade.
Looking like I don't know. Let's put that back up. Let's see that again.
So what happened here was
look how happy you look, dude. Like you
didn't
just
even know,
ran
dude.
a marathon and
You don't even
completed it.
know what happened. What happened in this picture was I used to get teased all the time because my I guess my smile was too toothy, right? I was like, and so I'm sitting there about to take my picture, and all my friends are kind of like, ah, Reg got the big smile, and so I do this, and that's why
Oh, you try to hide it.
I tried to hide the smile.
You
Like
try to
I
hide
let those
the
kids
smile.
influence my smile, right?
Poor little Reg, you get picked on in ways that people didn't
Exactly.
know.
Dude, I used to get teased about the way I talk.
Yeah, well, you did have a funny talk. Like
No,
you had a funny lisp, dude. Like,
that's that's eighth grade.
yeah, that's where your Larry Johnson haircut.
No, not that's not the that's off to the side. That's before L. This is
Well,
80.
was it? Didn't he have that line down the thing?
Yeah, but he had his line in the middle.
Oh, he
This is
did
off to the
have it in the
side. Yeah,
middle.
mine
That's
is this
right.
is off to the side just a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I just thought
Yeah.
you had a blind barber.
Probably I pretty much did. And then eighth, seventh, I mean it's freshman year. Dude, I got teased. Here's my senior year. This is my senior year and my freshman year in college. Basketball picture. Senior year, and then all right. So
All
senior
right.
year picture, and then
What was that, like a flat top?
yeah, yeah.
A little like kid and play action.
A little bit, but not super high. So, so when I went to Our Lady of Fatima Middle School, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, Catholic, white shirt, blue pants, had nuns and fathers and all this kind of stuff at the school. But prior to that, the elementary school I went to, Epic, was like a really diverse school, and it was like cutting edge as far as education and the way they went about things, right? So they were really adamant about language and just how you carried yourself. There were kids in the school who were disabled, so we all learned sign language so we can all
Oh
communicate,
yeah, that's right.
right? Right. So it was a school that was designed to present a world where everyone is equal, right? So
Mm-hmm.
kids with severe disabilities, and then we also had kids like at that school we had the gifted class, and then it was like above average and average, right? But I'm talking about we had kids in the gifted classes that were like that went on to go to MIT and Harvard and wherever else, right? But that was middle school. So this is Alabama, and the principal, Mr. Batson, he always emphasized all the S's and the T's, right? So whenever he said something, if he said stop, he didn't say stop, he said stop, right? Like just to try to emphasize that. So when I showed up at Our Lady of Fatima in sixth grade, I go from a diverse school of black, black, white, Asian, and Latin kids, what little bit there was of the others in Alabama, to an all black Catholic middle school. And I show
Wow.
up. Yeah, I
I
show
never
up, and
even heard of that.
they exist in the South, right? I didn't know it either until I showed up. But I show up at that school, dude, and I'm like, they're like, "Hey, what's your name?" They're like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I was like, "My name is Reginald." And they were like, "Oh, this dude talk funny, dude." They used to tell me,
You
like,
went by Reginald back then?
Yeah, I was Reginald. I was
Oh,
Reginald.
till when? When did you wise up and change that?
So, I mean, people knew me as Reginald or Reg until I got to California. When I got to California, I then became Reggie.
You were Reginald that whole time. All right, so
Like,
go
what?
back. You get to the black Catholic high or middle school,
Okay,
and you go,
I'll show you.
"Hi, I'm Reginald."
No, I didn't say it like that. I said, I was like, "Hi, I'm Reginald. My name is Reginald." And they were like, "Oh, this dude talk funny." So they then would ask me to say stuff all the time, when they ask me questions so I can answer, right? So, what did you have for breakfast? I had scrambled eggs, bacon, and toast, right, for breakfast. And they'd be like, "Man, you hear this dude? He had bacon and eggs and toast for breakfast." They would tease me all the time because I was articulate, right?
That's why you became a comedian, bro. That's where it started.
I'm sure that's part of it. That's part of it. But no, that at that time, that wasn't about humor for me. The biggest thing that had an impact on me at that point, because that was an easy fix, right? That was kind of like, all right, I guess I can just be like, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" Right? Because I came from a place where it's like we emphasize the words we're saying and enunciate. Then it was easy just be like, "What you doing?" Right? You just meld it together. Instead of "What are you doing?" "What you doing?" And it's like, all right. And then that became, once I like, that was like, what is it called? It's called coding, like learning how to adapt to adjust to your environment. that was easy. And then I could turn it on off when I needed to, right? Just to avoid that. The biggest thing that came out of middle school for me was, and this is just goes into race stuff, but ultimately what happened was all the girls were like really into like what I felt like the light-skinned kids, like the light-skinned boys who were, you know, fair-skinned and had different color eyes or kind of curly hair. And so I distinctly remember deciding that I couldn't change my appearance. As far as like I can't change my skin complexion and my face, but I was like, but I can be funny and I can be strong, right? Like I was like, I can be in good shape, right? Because even though they may have liked other attributes that I felt, everyone still liked the dude that was fit, right? Like if you had abs and a chest and show, like if you had muscles and you were strong, then that was still appealing. So I was like, I can't change the stuff I couldn't. So that led to me getting my first weight set in the 6th grade and pumping iron and doing squats and curls. And
what if you came across like a muscle bound guy though with like different color eyes and lighter skin? You wouldn't have a chance against that, huh?
Well, that's up to the girls. The only thing I would think then is if he and I were equal in that way, then I was like, yo, I gotta be funnier. Right? Like I gotta be more charming. I gotta be more likable. Right? Like I gotta be on top of it. Like I gotta find my edge. And then when I got to high school, all that shit changed. Like literally all the image stuff. Like the pool got bigger. You know what I mean? Like I was a small fish in a small pond, and all of a sudden you become a small fish in a big pond, and maybe even become a little bit of a bigger fish because I played sports and my high school didn't have a football team, so the basketball players were kind of the big deal. So now you kind of grow in size, status wise, and then you got a bigger pool, and you have the girls who are like, yeah, I like light skinned dudes, but I love dark skinned dudes. And like, oh, yes, like it's my turn now. Yeah,
I'm coming up.
I want the
right, here's
world
me
to know.
in 1st grade, dude.
All right, let's see what we got.
So it's funny. So you showed me yours, and then mine, we had to wear like the uniform, right? So on picture day, you didn't have to. So you get to wear whatever you want.
Dude,
and this how I went.
Hold up, before you even go any further. Every day of the school year, you have to wear a shirt and tie. And then the one day where you take a picture of something, like to capture the moment, then it's like, pretend like none of this happened, right? Now you're like a regular kid.
Yeah.
That's manipulative. That's misleading. That is misleading and manipulative, dude. That's so wrong and confusing.
Catholic Church, baby.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so I decided to wear my Keep On Smurfing shirt.
Look at young Sal. Holy cow, you're a cute kid, dude. Skinny as hell, though. Jeez.
Oh, I was really skinny. I was one of the skinniest kids in class. There was one kid in my school, Jim Ravis. He's skinnier than me. But people would always do this. They'd put your finger around your wrist. And like his, you could fit both his wrists in your hand. You're like, I can break you. And he's like, nah. And no, when I played football in junior high, they had to give me rib pads in case. Because they're like, well, we don't want to get your ribs broke. And I was a receiver, so
I feel like child services should have been called about that other kid.
He was skinny as hell, man.
If he was that malnourished. Okay, so that was your first grade.
First grade.
Okay, here's my first grade. Ready? All right, that was your first grade. At 6, right? So here's my first grade. Yeah. Here's my first grade.
Damn, Reggie, the 3-piece suit. Look at this dude. That's funny, dude. Like,
dude, we would have been such good friends, dude. We'd have been good friends, dude. Look at my sleeve is turned up at the bottom. Somebody could fix my sleeve.
You look like my lawyer.
There you go.
Like, this guy can get me off.
I got to get you out of trouble. All right, where's your 2nd grade picture? You have that? I didn't
go and take all of my pictures. That's all. I don't know why I even have that in my phone, but that's all I got. I think I might have some other old stuff, but it was the same idea. I was like home for a funeral or something, and I just took pictures of pictures.
Right,
here's me playing football, bro.
Call me back. Oh man, that just looks like a disaster waiting to happen.
The same Brendan Navigators, dude.
The what?
Yeah, man. The same Brendan Navigators. That was a defensive back, dude. Cornerback.
Oh, I see you. Look at you. That's funny, man. I love it. And you had your rib pads on at that point?
Yeah, that point I started wearing them. Here's another one I just found from, I don't know what this is. This is like junior high, but I look like a dork, dude. Look at his mop on my head, dude.
Let's see. Oh, hey,
There's a
dude,
collar shirt.
I still see you in there though. I still
Yeah,
see.
it's funny. The face. No matter
Yeah.
what, you always see the face, the
Hold on, you gotta hold
eyes,
that up. Let's look at that one again. Look at that, dude. Look at that hair.
and
Holy, it looks
my
like a helmet.
teeth.
It looks like a helmet, dude. It looks like a helmet. You got on a hair helmet, dude.
Yeah, dude, I
Holy
look like
cow.
Kevin Arnold, bro.
That's a great picture, man. You got your neck, man. I'm telling you, dude, we would have been good friends because I know you would have been like, yo, can we be friends so you can just protect me because I'm a little skinny.
Yeah, beat all these people up. Here's me shoveling the snow when I was a little one.
Oh, look at cute Sal in the snow.
Freezing my ass off.
That's before we knew anything was what the future held. So much potential in that picture. Like he could be anything. In that picture, he's gonna be a CEO of Icon. We'll see what it is. It could be an interesting story for the next podcast. Reginald's half biological brother.
Oh yeah,
Call
dude.
him.
You should just call him on the podcast and we'll just interview him.
Hey man, I ain't talked to this dude. I don't know this dude. And
Is he older than you?
No, he's younger than me. I'm the oldest of everyone.
Oh,
now,
okay.
This is the thing though. He knew that I was his half brother growing up. I didn't know that. So and I'm being completely honest here. I don't know how this dude feels about me based on his information growing up and what he knew and about me and who I was to him. Like he could have literally grown up knowing that I was his half brother and thinking this dude, he doesn't call me, we're not in touch, he's not sharing anything with me, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm just thinking that he's just a random cousin that lives in Detroit. So, I didn't talk to any of my cousins like that. Right. Now, if I knew that I had a half brother, then obviously I'm sure that it would have been a little different. Then maybe I do call and check up on him or go visit, right? Like do something like that. But I didn't know that. So I don't know if he's been harboring some resentment and over all these years. And if he has, I'd be glad to address it. Like
I mean, it's cool. He's willing to reach out.
Well, he's reaching out for something. We don't know what it's for though. But if he needs to get something off his chest, right? Like if he needs to tell me what he feels and what's going on with him and what's happened and he wants to explain, listen, man, I am completely all ears and I'll listen. And then I'll say, okay, it's my turn. So understand, I hear how you're feeling, but this is what it was for me, right? So you can be mad at me if you want to, but that was not my call, right? Now when he could be upset with me is that when I found out at 21, when I did find out at that point, and I didn't make an effort to reach out, then he could probably be upset if he wants to. But also at that point, you got to realize, hey man, I'm an adult at this point, right? I'm about to graduate from college. I've always known you as just my cousin. It wasn't like we were close cousins, you know what I mean? Right. And so just because I find out that you're my half brother, it's not like I have some extra kinship where I'm like, oh, this is my half brother. I didn't grow up in that. I didn't grow up with siblings, right? So the sibling relationship or feelings, I guess, just don't exist for me. Like even now,
you don't even want it.
No, it's not that I don't want. It's not that I don't want it, but no, I guess. Look, if he wants to have a relationship, the relationships that I know and understand the most, right, are like my friendships. Right, like Mahershala, Mockley, AJ, Moki, God rest his soul, Byron, Marcus, Billy, Lamar, Fred, like you. These are the relationships.
Man, I was really at the end of that list. We see who got first. You got to win an Oscar to be the first one.
No, it's not. It was no order, no particular order. It was just that, I'm here with you right now. So you're already a given, right? But I mean, what I'm saying is like, those are the type of relationships that I understand and feel the strongest, right, connection with, or people, right? And so just because, and none of us are related, right? So just because we're half brothers, even though I didn't grow up with you, I wasn't around you, that doesn't make me feel like I need to be close to you. I mean, I got cousins that I've seen that I didn't necessarily grow up with. I mean, like I I care about them, but I definitely feel closer to my friends that I went through
Yeah.
stuff with. You know what I
I
mean?
yeah, I totally feel that a lot. Like, but you don't really know him though if he's cool or whatever, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I'll talk to him and find out. And then
Because it makes me think of my family now from the Garden Grove, and the my cousin, she wanted really bad to know other family because she didn't know where she came from or anything.
right.
And then last night the cousins came out again
Okay.
and they surprised me. I didn't even know they're gonna be there. And it's cool. I like hanging out with them, I like seeing them. It's cool to have like family over here on this side of
Right.
the country. And yeah, but I could also see because there's also people I know back home. I'm like, oh, we weren't that cool. And then I see how uncool you really are these past 4 years. And we're good.
We're good.
Had
Well,
this
I'll say
joke
that.
now. I was like, sometimes you just come in life, you realize you have to take out the white trash, just get them all in there. Racist Randy, flat earth Freddy, all you anti-vaxxers, and put them up on the tree lawn and with the trash.
Racist Randy. What you say? Flat Earth
Flat earth
Sandy?
Freddy.
Flat Earth Freddy. That's funny, dude. That's funny. I will say this though. With when my mom was going through, when she was in her last days, right? My cousin Beanie and my cousin Vanessa. Beanie was there first, helping out. Um, and Beanie was a cousin that I knew of, but I wasn't around her a whole lot. But
Mhm.
because she was there to help out with my mom in a lot of ways, and we were dealing with each other and communicating a lot, I was able to really establish a relationship with her. And I will say that the connection I feel with her based on what we've experienced together and knowing that we're related, um, it feels really good. Like when I was
That's
home from
good.
Byron, I went over to her house and we had dinner together, and it was great, man. Just sitting there, she cooked all this food for me, and it was amazing.
Food's the best, dude. My
Dude,
family came out last night. They brought me produce from their garden. They brought me eggplant. They brought me passion fruit figs. They know a way to
figs,
Italian's heart. You bring them
figs,
figs
love
and
figs. Where are the
cucumbers, all
fig
from the
trees?
garden. Look at all these figs.
Where are all these figs?
There's so
Hear
many,
that,
there's so many damn figs.
dude. People don't realize it, and maybe people listening to this right now will figure it out. But on a lot of levels, man, food is love, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I was talking about this the other day, but it was the amount of time. Like whenever I went home, my mom would always ask me what I wanted to eat, right? She'd always ask me, and she would always fix that food. But I knew, and she wasn't necessarily super expressive with her words, and even she wasn't necessarily really affectionate physically. Like there was not a lot of hugging and touching, and whatever. And that's a whole nother thing. But I knew that she loved me because she always told me that she prayed for me. But
Who's this? Your mom?
this is my mom, and I knew
Okay.
that she cared for me, and I knew she loved me too because the amount of time, energy, and effort that she would put into preparing these meals for me. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like, buying the food, preparing the food, cooking the food, monitoring their food, being selective of whatever it was. Like the amount of energy, time, and effort that she put in, I knew. I was like, man, this woman loved me, right? And then, other people would tell me all the time. That's the other reason I knew my mom loved me was that other people would tell me. She didn't necessarily tell me all the time, but apparently she was super expressive to other people. And so I would see them, people would come to me and be like, boy, your mama love you. Right. And I didn't necessarily feel like, I wasn't like, well, she didn't tell me. I was just like, oh, okay, okay. But they were like, man, your mom, the amount of money she spent for you to go to the camp, and then the money that she paid for the equipment, the money that she did this, and she made the food, and she packed the lunch, and she showed up on time, and she got this and got that, and did this and was there and was da. Your mama love you, boy.
I mean, I remember when my parents came to visit me once when I was in California, in San Francisco, and my mom and my dad, and they were back together for like a couple of years after they got divorced. Then they were apart for 11, came back for like 3. But one of those years they were together, they came and visit. And yeah, my dad never told me anything, was it? Never told me he's proud, never told me he loved me, none of that. But when
I'm proud of you, son.
when but then when they came over visit and we went and had dinner with a lot of my friends that I was working with and stuff. And I remember like my dad's walking up with my friends a couple paces ahead, And I guess they had to tell me afterwards, but he's like, oh man, I'm so proud of him. He really did well out here. I didn't know if he's doing it here in California. And, but
Wow.
they had to tell me after. But it's always funny how it's easier for them to tell someone else instead of the actual person.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what's funny about that too is I am like super expressive with my friends, right?
Yeah, I'm
Like
not. It's
I
weird to me. And when y'all want to
really,
hug and stuff, it's weird.
yeah, man. I'm super, but
Uncomfortable.
it's see, you should if you saw, I'm telling you right now, if you saw me, Mockley, Mahershala, and AJ together, hey
You
dude.
guys just like having sex with each other. Yeah, what you saying? You're very expressive. I
You
just
got
want
to
to know
edit
how
that part
much.
out. You got to edit that part out. Nah, man, I'm just about. There's just a lot of affection, man. Like me and I mean, I hug these dudes, man. But you got to remember too, for us, we've been through a lot as far as like in pivotal transitional times in our lives, right? Like
Mhm,
in losing Moki, graduating college together, dealing with Ernie Kent together, playing games
mhm.
together, winning, losing, on road trips, going to different cities, different places, uh, experiencing relationships, healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, successful relationships, bad relationships. So we've been there for each other. So it's like there's just this kinship when we see each other, of this connection of like, yo, man, I
Right,
love this dude. You know what I mean? Um,
right.
but it's funny how and sometimes it's hard to express that same affection to loved ones. Like the people that probably should hear it the most are the ones who don't. It's like you got to wait for
Yeah.
somebody else to be like, man, yo mama love you. Right? Or hey, I'm really proud of him. And you're like, yo, pops, it'd be nice if you told me that one time. Like I would really appreciate it. He's like, don't
I
get out of here. What do you?
Speaking of the old man, here's a picture I found. And so
Oh, let's
people are
see.
gonna have to go on the YouTube to find these, but this is my dad's first ever picture. All
First
right.
ever picture.
First ever picture. They must have just his first time probably seeing a camera in Sicily
Wow.
or
Okay.
Italy. But this is great. If you see
That's
his
him in the
face,
middle.
yeah, dude, he's like, the hell is that? And I love how nobody smiles. Like there's no
Yeah.
smiles. They're like, what is that thing?
Dude, your pops. I mean, for one, he looks scared, right? Like he looks petrified. And your grandparents look like mafioso, right? Like they look like, I don't like this documentation of me. Like they're
Dude,
gonna
it's
find us.
old school. You could tell like my dad's sweater, like my grandma knitted it for him.
Oh, of course.
Like it's yeah, all made
Wow,
clothes.
your dad looks like both of them. Like I actually can
Oh
see
yeah,
you and
yeah.
I can see you and your grandmother a little bit, like the shape of the face when you're
Oh yeah,
young.
yeah. I could see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, trippy, man. Yeah, his first
trippy.
ever like picture, man.
Hey, dude, it sounds to me like we both need to talk to somebody about some family shit. I know you.
That's
I
we are
swear,
right now. This is it.
this is our therapy.
There
I've
it
actually
is.
been thinking about it. I know you've been to therapy
Yeah, it's
before.
good. You do learn a lot. Like I've learned like I would very anxious at times, but I don't seem like I'm anxious about a lot of things, but sometimes there is a lot of anxiety in there. And then you learn like as a kid where that would come from, where like, yo, dude, like if the old man coming home and he's pissed, dude, you're like, and that's where it
Right, it kind of
starts.
puts
You
you
know
on
what I
the
mean?
edge. Yeah,
Yeah. And then
yeah.
when there's like the build up to a fight a brewing before the family, like I remember I had this joke about how uh once a week maybe we'd have steak, maybe we could
Okay.
afford to have steaks. And then but my mom, man, was not always like the best on the grill. So like,
Oh, so she
so I
would
remember,
overcook it.
oh yeah, so I remember she'd be on the
Wow.
phone and be like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I'd be looking outside, but oh man, the grill is smoking. The snakes are gonna burn. The snakes are gonna burn, man. And
And
she's
the
like,
old
shut
man's
up,
gonna
I'm
be
on your
upset.
phone. Yeah, she's like, I'm talking to Betty. Hold on, what do you want? Shut up, And then
Yeah.
friggin' he would come home, dude, and the steaks would be burnt and be trying to, oh, you burnt the goddamn steaks. Oh, if you don't like it, you cook yourself. Oh, you gotta cook a goddamn steak. And then they just split and leave the table. Oh, but just me and my sister sitting there eating this burnt steak. Like,
Oh man, that's funny and sad at the same
I
time.
know, right?
Right? That's comedy, dude. That's comedy. Comedy comes from the parts of life that ought not be funny, right?
Right.
It's
And that's where that shit builds up. And then you carry it with you. And then you with like those kids picking on you all the time. And then you having to adjust who you were for them.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
yeah.
Well, and you know what else too? And I talked about I mentioned it earlier, and I can say this part too. I mentioned that a part of like working out and all that kind of stuff was to be more appealing in a certain way, but it was also, and a lot of young Black men do this, is you feel defenseless in life, right? Because you almost don't even have control over your body, because people can dictate. For years they dictated our bodies, like they controlled our bodies, right? And you can go way back, and I'm talking about from the point of like, being like maiming people. And even now Black people's bodies are not theirs, how quickly people are willing to take it from them, you know what I mean, and taking their lives, right?
Right.
So the working out is almost like building up the armor to protect yourself, right? It's like building up this armor to the world of like, yo, you can't just come and take my body. So a part of it for me as a kid was because they used to pick on me about, so like, I got picked on about so many different things all the time. Whatever it was always something. My haircut wasn't good enough, my shoes weren't new enough, my clothes weren't nice enough, I talked too funny, I was too dark skinned. You get picked on all the time about stuff. So then for me, I developed all this where it's like, yo, okay, hey, was it sticks and stones? What is it? Words will never hurt me, right? Like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So I was like, yo, the words, I can deal with the words, but don't ever touch me. Right? Like seriously, and then that, but then for me, that became, because I used to have a really bad temper. I used to have a really bad temper, right? And so that anger would just manifest itself into physicality. And once I got into sports, it was a great outlet, but it was also turned into that thing of like, all right, now, okay, now I get to turn this into something else. So you can be funny and you can joke about the way I talk and my shoes and whatever the case may be, but I'm gonna bust your ass, right? I'm gonna bust your ass on the court. Like, I'm stronger than you, I'm taller than you, I'm more athletic than you, I jump higher than you. At that point, I became the person who can control them in a certain way.
Right. Oh, and then I kind of feel like with comedy, like if we got picked on and whatever, and things weren't working out, going along, but in comedy, you could bring everybody, you control the whole crowd, you bring everybody together, and everybody's getting along because you've created that.
And like, I think about what comedy do. I think about for the year, I was like, what was the point? Like, what was my goal, right? And you know me, I wasn't like, I'm not up there trying to change the world. A lot of times it was just like, I wanted to have fun. I wanted to express what it was for me, but I never wanted to point out like, but if I pointed out anything, I'd always try to point out the fact that I don't just point my finger. Like, I'm not just picking out one group of people. Like, it's not just white people, because I've been treated poorly by white people, and I've been treated poorly by Black people. I've been treated poorly by Asian people, and I've been treated poorly by Latin people. For me, it wasn't about the race of anybody that was doing shit or said shit to me. It was the fact that it was just people who do dumb shit, right? Like, and I think sometimes I got some pushback, because people would just be like, I think people wanted me to, as a Black person who's a comedian, they always kind of want you to target a demographic, right? It's always, the Black comics always like, man, white people do, and white man, I seen a white dude the other day and he was like, I'm like, yo, fuck that. I give a shit about him being white. It's a dude, like, it's a person, because the dumb shit that white dude is doing, I seen Black people do the same dumb shit. I seen Latin people do the same dumb. So it ain't about the race of the people. It's about people. People are fucked up. Not just Black people, white people, Asian people, Latin people, whoever else you can think of. No, people are messed up, right? And so, yeah, man. It's like you build up these defenses in different ways. Humor is always a defense mechanism, and then even being physical in a certain way. At least for me, that became a way. I used to fight as a kid, right? Like, I fought a little bit as a kid. Well, I fought.
You getting like fist fights with kids?
I was getting fist fights when I was a kid, like straight up, just scrapping, right? And then I had a moment in high school. In middle school, I didn't really have to fight that much, because once I got the weight set in 6th grade, and then people could see how fast I was, how far I could jump. Like, once my athleticism kicked in and my physicality kicked in, then people were less likely to try to like challenge me. You know what I mean? So that was not a thing. But then when I got to high school, all of a sudden you're a freshman and you got juniors and seniors, right? And they trying to pick on people. But because I played basketball, people didn't really mess with me, because they were like, they could see, right? They could see the stuff. So other kids in my class that got picked on, I would sometimes be like, yo, man, come do that shit to me. And they would be like, man, forget you, Reg. Man, forget you, Reg. And then they would say shit like this. They'd be like, man, forget you, Reg. I'll shoot your ass first. Like you have
Wow.
Straight up. It was, dude, when I said you talk about a way to check your temper,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
You talk about a way to check your temper. Somebody tell you, and you know that the person has the capability or access because they got older brothers who do dumb shit, or they got fathers and uncles who got access and do dumb shit. And somebody say to you, man, I ain't gonna fight you. I'll shoot your ass first. Right?
That's
man,
crazy.
Yo, man, that happened to me. And I was like, that was a moment where I had to take, like, I had to reflect. Luckily, I was smart enough to go, yo, he would actually, I think he would do that. Because that was like at the turning point of where people, it was one thing before, like, remember way back in the day, if you got into a fight and you got beat, it was just like, yo, man, I just got to get better. Yeah. Right? Like, I just got to get stronger. And we scrap again, I'm coming at them, right? Like, I'm going to do better. But it was starting to get to that point where people didn't want to be embarrassed. So if you beat somebody, then they can't go work out and get strong and learn how to fight. No, they got to come back, and now they got to one up you.
It's like John Witherspoon said, no one just won't take an ass whooping.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey man, you just got to take that ass whooping. I'm lifting weights and I'm running and I'm doing stuff and I'm exerting myself physically all the time. And all you got is just your temper. Like, you just upset. You ain't did a push-up. You ain't ran, you ain't climbed nothing, ain't lifted nothing, ain't pushed nothing. But because you mad, now you want to do, and then because I'm a little bit stronger and I do whatever, and I just hold you down, like, man, it's over, just stop, right? Then it's like, man, fuck that, I'll just shoot this.
Yeah, dude. One time I had someone threaten to shoot me, and I was in college, dude, and I was living on my own, and it was like crazy. Like, so I had a friend of mine, and she and her boyfriend, she met this guy, and they were gone, and they were coming back in town, and they needed a place to stay. And I just had this plate, my house with my roommates, and I was like, all right, well, you guys could stay here like a week or so. These motherfuckers stayed a month, right? And it was really a pain in the ass getting them to leave, you know what I mean? But they leave, guy, and I get a phone bill a couple weeks later, and the guy made like this 900 call, and it was like $200, dude. And he was saying some shit like, oh, someone probably just grabbed the phone. It was out in the yard and they made a call. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? This is you, man.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't pay me. And he left all these speaker equipment at my place. And I was like, you ain't getting back till I get my money. And then
you gangster style.
And so this dude calls me up and he goes, hey man, he's like, you think, he's like, where's my stuff? I'm like, yeah, give me the money. But fuck you, dude. He's like, you know what? You go to Cleveland State. He's like, I know people there. I'm gonna have someone come by and shoot you in the face. And I was like, oh, hey, no, man, we don't need no drama, man. It's all good, you know, this and that. Hung up. I knew where he was staying. He was staying with they were staying at somebody else's apartment. I got all my boys. There was like 5 of us. I was like, yo, we got to go make a stop. This guy want to threaten my life. So we showed up like that night. We come over to the apartment, knock on the door. He's like, oh, and I see him, and he's like, oh, he tries to close the door. I mean, put my foot in there. I come on in. I'm like, what the fuck? You gonna shoot me in the face, dude? What's up? And again, he was all cowering and being quiet and calm after that. And he's like, oh man, they misunderstood. And then that was it. Then we left, and then he called me the next day, like, don't you do that? I know guys too. And I was like, well, all your equipment now is amongst all my friends. I don't have it anymore. So if you want it, you got to call them. And then some of my friends are way tougher, and they're like, fuck you, you ain't getting your shit back. Dude, that was it, dude. I never talked to that dude again.
Wow. Sal, you gotta be one of the most gangster motherfuckers I know.
When he said he shoot me in the face, something clicked in my head, and I was like, that's okay. It's gonna come back at you. And then yeah dude, I wanted to kill the dude.
You showed up
in a calm manner.
Dude, you showed up at his house with 5 other dudes. You on some Ving Rhames and Pulp Fiction. So you know what? I ain't through with your ass by Billy Bob. You hear me? I ain't through with your ass by sight. I got some hard pipe hitting brothers. We about to get medieval on your ass. We got some pliers and some blowtorch. Yeah, yo, hey man, hey. for me, it's let me see, how do I say this? For me, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a part of me is like, yo, man, I'm glad you stood up for yourself. Good for you. Don't let anybody threaten you, right? But the other side of me is like, what if he had been fucking nuts and you show up at his house with these
Right
people?
now, in
Right,
retrospect, it's dumb and dangerous. At the time, it wasn't his place. They're staying at someone else's place.
right, right,
So
right,
there
right,
were another couple, and they're all just sitting there watching TV. It was an empty threat, but it
right.
was, you're right. And now looking back, and especially now, like more people have access to guns more than ever.
Oh man, people are nuts,
But
man. Yeah,
yeah, at
people
the
are crazy.
time,
And
I was,
people would
yeah,
take a life for nothing. You know what I mean? We've
yeah, it
seen
means
people get
nothing
killed
now.
for
It's
it means
crazy,
nothing.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw a video the other day, and I shouldn't even watch this shit, but I didn't know. It was in LA. This guy, someone caught the whole thing on video. These guys get into an argument, and they're in the street, and little dude just pulled out a piece and blow, just shot him right in the chest, killed him right there on the spot. I saw this on Instagram, and
Jesus.
and then they say they found out it was a homicide, and they found out that it was because they wanted his shoes.
Mm,
Like, are we going back to that shit again? Like
right.
that was like the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Early 90s, late 80s, where it's like people was getting killed for their shoes. And now here we are, 2021, and that's it. Everything comes full circle. So now we back to people losing their lives for shoes. It's like, yo, man, if you want the shoes, here, take the shoes. I wear a size 14. I'm sure you don't wear 14, so good luck. And I've worn them, so you ain't gonna be able to get that much online for them, right?
Yeah.
But whatever, take the shoes, man. I ain't gonna die from the damn shoes. Like,
Crazy.
whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. That was the only time I've ever had anybody, and he didn't necessarily threaten me as much as he just said, like, fighting you is not an option. Like,
Right.
I would do something different. Not that
Right.
I'm going to do something to you,
But
but
I
it was,
can.
but yeah, to avoid being embarrassed, I would, this is, instead, like, we are not knuckling up. What I
Right.
will do is, if there's beef and there's a problem, I will go and get whatever from my older brother or from my cousin or from my uncle, or I get my dad's, whatever, and then, you know, it'll be a school shooting basically,
Yeah.
or outside of school.
Nobody
So
just wants to take an ass whooping
no
anymore.
one was taking ass whooping anymore. So
All
that was
right.
the beginning of me. That was the beginning of me being like, yo, man, I got to check my temper, right?
No,
And,
yeah.
you know, and so then I started reading all this positive, you know, self-help stuff and counting backwards and, you know, walking away, turning the other cheek, being the bigger person, you know, meditating, being it, like, literally, it literally turned, like, it was the beginning of like changing like the mentality of some degree. Right.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I ain't finna die with some dumb shit. And then you start reading all that stuff and you go, oh yeah, none of this stuff matters anyway.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
All right. Well, there's therapy with Sal and Reg, dude. Close us
hold
out,
up though.
Reg.
Yeah, really. But just for that, I'm seriously not even considering I'm just looking for the person that I want to talk to, because I've never done it. And I'm a huge advocate for it. I think that it's good. And I've known so many people who've done it and got something positive out of it. So I feel like I need to experience it, but also I think it'll be helpful, but I'm also kind of just curious to see what comes out of it. Right.
Yeah, it's good. And it's mostly you. Honestly, they're just there to direct, but you just do the talking and you'll lead yourself there.
Right. Right.
It
That's
helps
what I
to have
understand.
that echo chair, that person to talk to.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. And
All
I'm
right,
gonna share this last thing with you, and I think you'll be happy about this. And I talked about this recently about how hard of a time I have with closing out shit sometimes. So I'm trying to get better at that. But I have been researching, and I don't feel like I need to get it right now, but I do know that when I do, I know which one I'm getting. Like, I got my mind set on, like, I was reading a bunch of stuff yesterday.
Moderna?
No, I'm not doing either one. I'm not doing the mRNAs. I'm not doing the Pfizer or the Moderna. I'll do the J&J. Because based on what I've seen and what I've read and the way it was developed, it's the closest of the three vaccines. It's the closest one to a traditional vaccine, where it's
though,
actually,
now you're getting boosters for those.
Again, boosters for all that shit. Hey man, all
Delta
of them is,
fucked everything up, man.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to Chris, like, last month he was on the road and it wasn't as bad last month. Right. This month, it's another level now,
it's
man.
Another level.
You better be careful on them boats.
Oh, dude.
I wore an N95 mask last night. I'm coming correct.
Dude, I stay masked up in a KN95 and I'm keeping my distance. And it's mandated up here now that you have to wear them indoors. So anybody walk on that boat, dude, I'm like, yo, you gotta be masked up, dude.
He said it's a lot more cautious up north than down here.
Yeah,
down here,
yeah, it
it's
is
fucking the Wild West.
It's like Texas down there. Texas and
well,
Florida.
Not that bad. Texas and Florida. Jesus Christ.
Oh, hold up though. I met a dude yesterday. He's getting on, and I go, "Excuse me, sir, you have to wear a mask, when indoors." And he's like, "Oh, I don't have a mask." And I said, "Well," I was like, "We have some," so I got him one. And I go, in California, it's mandated. I said, it's state mandated now. So if you're going to be out here, if you're going to go anywhere, they're going to require you to wear a mask. He goes, "Oh, well, I'm from Texas." No shit. I took a step back. I was like, "Oh," right. I said, "Oh, you from Texas?" I was like, "Yo," and I go just like this. I go, "Yo, it's crazy in Texas. It's Texas and Florida. Like your governors don't even
y'all
care.
Fucking us up."
Yeah. And he's like, "No, we don't have to wear a mask." And then one of my coworkers goes, "No, he's talking about the spreading of the virus, right?" And I go, "Yeah, it's bananas down there. It's like your joint is out of control." I was like, "Yeah, so you got to wear a mask."
Thing you were complaining about. What
yeah, I'm like, dude,
fucking
no, it's the fact that you guys are living like the wild, wild west out there. So yeah,
all
man,
red states, all the red states in the South is blowing up, and none of them got the masks.
Yeah, the South is completely red. Like that joint is out of control down there. So,
yeah.
So yeah, man, I've been looking at it. I've done my research, and the one that I feel the most comfortable with, and I'll get it when it's time. I will in time. It's coming. Easy. But just know that like based on the technology, right? Because I'm not gonna get all into the details of the mRNA and the code and relaying a message to the immune system to do. Because personally, and this is just my own opinion, our immune systems are perfect. Like they're built, unless you have some autoimmune disease, our immune systems are designed to do what they're supposed to do. Our bodies are built to do what they're supposed to do. So I don't necessarily like something that's communicating with that, but I can do the traditional. I mean, I've taken all the others, right? I've taken my measles and chickenpox and hepatitis and whatever else. And so yeah.
Congratulations, Reg. Welcome
I'm
to
just thinking.
the
I'm
other
thinking.
side.
Not yet. Ain't there
get
yet.
us out.
All right, let's do it. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who watched and for those who are listening, we really appreciate it. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin', and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you. Oh, wait.